In this video, I'm gonna rank every single Season 4 in Fortnite history from worst to best. With the new release of Chapter 6 Season 4 Shock and Awesome, that now gives us 6 Season 4s, and I feel like it only makes sense to rank every single Season 4 from every chapter of Fortnite. And yes, I will be including the current Season 4 on this list, even though it's only been out for a couple of days. We'll talk about that when we get there. If you go on to enjoy this video and want to see more Chapter 6 Season 4 content, be sure to drop this video a like and use code TYFRYZ in the Fortnite item shop to support my channel. With that all being said, let's get into ranking every single Season 4. So, Season 4s have a really good reputation, and this list was very difficult for me to make, except for the very last spot, number 6, that is Chapter 3 Season 4. This is, in my opinion, clearly, far and away, the worst Season 4 we have ever seen, and of course, this was Paradise, was the Chrome season. There's just not much about this season that I look back on, and I'm like, oh, I wish I could have experienced that one again. Or like, oh man, I really miss Chapter 3 Season 4, right? I like the Evo Chrome weapons. I love the idea that doing damage is going to upgrade your weapons. Still, to this day, we have not seen that come back, and it will never make sense to me why we haven't. The only way I can explain this season, when I look back on it, is it's just kind of boring. Even the new locations, right? A lot of them weren't even new. They just put Chrome on them and called them new, right? Tilted Towers became Tainted Towers. Logjam Junction became Chrome Jam Junction. Just feels really lazy, left a really bad taste in my mouth, honestly. And yeah, like I said earlier, I look back on Chapter 3 Season 4 and I can't help but think to myself, what is there to actually miss about this season? I don't know if I've ever heard anybody in my entire life say that Chapter 3 Season 4 is their favorite Fortnite season, and I think by this point, everyone's just like, all right, let's just get to Chapter 4. And since Chapter 4 Season 1 was so good, I think a lot of people tend to forget actually about how bad Chapter 3 Season 4 was. Definitely was not a great season in my book, and clearly the worst Season 4 of all time, but it only gets better from here because now the next 5 were actually really difficult to rank for me. At number 5 is going to be, well, Chapter 5's selection for this video. That is Chapter 5 Season 4 Absolute Doom. So this was not the first time we saw a Season 4 that was themed after superheroes. It was not the second time we saw a Season 4 themed about superheroes. It was the third time. And somehow they still found ways to make the superhero theme feel creative, right? Of course, with the Armor of Doom, we had never seen anything like that before besides, maybe the Thanos Infinity Gauntlet. You had cool, superhero themed items like the Captain America shield, like War Machine's auto turret, War Machine's arsenal, and unfortunately, War Machine's hover jets. I could not talk about Chapter 5 Season 4 without talking about War Machine's hover jets, right? I just can't. It's these hover jets to me absolutely destroyed this season. Every single fight was just two mosquitoes flying at each other, just trying to hit each other with bullets. And if you didn't have a hover jet, there's no way you were going to win a fight. I'm serious. Go look at any Chapter 5 Season 4 gameplay in Endgame. Every single person has the hover jets. They are a crutch item, and any season where you essentially need a specific item to win a game is just not going to be a good season. That just really can't happen. The Gatekeeper shotgun still absolutely destroyed close range engagements, right? The new weapons to me just felt kind of lackluster, right? The Sovereign shotgun to me is a meh shotgun. Same thing with the dual micro SMGs. The Striker burst rifle was, okay, but unfortunately it was projectile and its hit scan version came back in Chapter 6, and so everyone forgets this version ever existed. The Monarch pistol to me is okay. I guess it's an above average pistol. I feel like at least with this season, right? You look back on it and there's something to be excited about, right? You can go back to Chapter 5 Season 4 and say, oh, you know what? I would love to go back and play as Armor of Doom one more time. Or oh, I would love to drop, Castle Doom one more time. Or the other POIs that were added in this season because, the majority of them were actually pretty good. Shout out the Raft. What a great location. But unfortunately, I would never in a million years decide to go back to Chapter 5 Season 4 because no way am I ever going back to Mosquito Shooting Simulator. I don't want it to ever happen again. It was an absolute nightmare, and yeah, I'm glad we're done with it. Moving on to number 4 is our most recent addition to this list. It is Chapter 6 Season 4. And obviously, you've got to let me explain a little bit here because as of recording this season has only been out for basically a full day now. So really, how do you rank a season based on it being out for a day, right? Of course, we're going to have weapon changes, weapon balancing, new updates, new locations. I mean, this season's supposed to be 3 full months long. So of course, take everything that I'm about to say with a grain of salt because this list could look terribly different in about 3 months or so. I feel like the launch launch of this season was some of the most fun I have had playing Fortnite in a bunch of seasons in a row. I know I was tuning into Cypher's stream earlier today, and he said in the last 7 Fortnite seasons, this is the most fun I've had on day one. And Ninja, who he was playing with, was saying the same thing. This is the most fun I have had playing Fortnite since like the end of Chapter 4. And for the most part, I would actually probably agree with that. Obviously, the weapon balancing is a little out of whack this season. Of course, that's expected on day one, but the shotgun revolver is a little bit of a problem right now. Some people will say the Swarm Strike launcher is also a little bit out of control right now. For me, I don't know how to explain it. It just feels like every time I get into a fight with somebody, they end up running away with shockwave grenades. I don't know if there's just shockwave grenades literally all over the map. Every time I've played, I've had no problem having 6 shockwave grenades, so maybe they tune back that a little bit. I know everyone's running around with shockwave grenade launchers as well. I don't know, it just feels like I never get a clean fight, right? Like, it feels like every fight is just kind of like super long and drawn out, and that's a little bit annoying, but of course, these are very nitpicky because this season has a lot of really, really good going for it too. I love the new bug locations. The bugs don't feel too annoying. They're very easy to take down, and they don't feel like, you know, zombies back in Chapter 1 where it was like, if you didn't pay attention to them, you were just gonna get third-partied and died. The bugs are a little bit less ruthless. There are heals all over this map, right? Like, you will always have heals on you. You will always have 100 health. I think that's a great thing. I love the new exotics. I mean, I think they knock them out of the park. Every single one, besides maybe the grenade launcher, has a use, and some of them are borderline overpowered. Like, they're unbelievable and also incredibly creative as well, might I add. Again, I don't want to go into, you know, too much detail here because, you know, the season's only been out for a day and things are going to change very quickly, as they always do. So, of course, make sure to subscribe to the channel for more Chapter 6 Season 4 content, because you guys know I'm going to be providing it for you. But yeah, that's all I've got to say for now about this season. I think it has huge potential and the ability to really climb the ranks on this list. And yeah, those are my final thoughts on this season so far. Moving inside our top 3, at number 3 is Chapter 1 Season 4. So this is always a very interesting one, right? Because I try my best to put nostalgia aside, but you can't lie that this was probably Fortnite's first prime. This is when Fortnite was its most popular. This is when this game had, I mean, just absolutely breaking every single record. Everybody you knew was playing Fortnite at this time. That's for a good reason, right? The game was just really, really fun. Of course, it has its problems, and I'm not going to ignore that. And it also has what now would be considered a big lack of content, right? Like, we get so much more content, for example, on launch of Chapter 6 Season 4 than we ever did in any of those like early Chapter 1 seasons. That's expected, obviously. The game is going to continue to evolve and grow. But think about it, right? We got 10 brand new, never seen before weapons on Chapter 6 Season 4 on the launch. Chapter 1 Season 4, we got what, like 2? You also had a severe lack of mobility, and if you played Fortnite Season 4 OG, you will know the lack of mobility is painful, right? No shockwave grenades. Really, the only vehicle is like a shopping cart and hop rocks for mobility. Other than that, you're looking at impulse grenades, really, and jetpacks, I guess. Just very, very poor mobility and makes traversing the map an absolute pain. But with that being said, obviously it's inside the top 3 for a reason. And this season also did a lot really, really well. I just feel like this season was fun. I don't really know how else to explain it. You, of course, had Thanos' Infinity Gauntlet, that whole mashup. This was the first technical collaboration in Fortnite history besides the Reaper in Season 3. And also the first Mythic in Fortnite history, so can't ignore that. Also a very solid map, in my opinion, one of the best maps in Fortnite history, easily inside the top 5. It's just good gameplay, right? Like, I don't know how else to explain it. Season 4 had great gameplay. If you go back in the day, there's reasons why C-Day's Season 4 videos have like 20 million views each. People were infatuated with the game at the time. So was I. I loved playing Season 4, and while it lacks, you know, just pure content as compared to some of the seasons that I just mentioned, just more is not always better, right? Quality is better than quantity. At number 2 today, guys, is Chapter 4 Season 4, and I feel like this season perfectly matched the, you know, idea of having a lot of items and a lot of also quality items as well. It's not like they just threw, you know, 10 items at you. We're just like, here, use these, and they all sucked. No, you had a bunch of really quality items added this season. For me, the Rocket Ram is one of my favorite items in Fortnite history. The Twin Mag Assault Rifle is also one of the best assault rifles in Fortnite history, especially when it was in this season before it got all the nerfs in Chapter 6 Season 2. Also, I love the way that they added back the iconic mythics, right? They didn't just, you know, add them to a boss and say, oh, here, you know, you got to fight them to get the mythics. No, you had to go along with the theme of the season, right? Which was a heist. You had to go in and you had to steal one. And you had some absolute classics, right? Midas's drum gun, Kit's charge shotgun, weapons that literally hadn't been seen for years at that point. Again, it's another one of those seasons that I look back on it and I'm like, wow, I had a lot of fun playing this season. Like, I really enjoyed myself here. And especially after Chapter 4 Season 3, right? Which was an absolute stinker season. You needed a good bounce back, and that's what you got here. And And I feel like a lot of people kind of seem to forget about this season just because, you know, Season OG happened right after and really got all the hype. But this is actually a really good Fortnite season, and I would go as far as to say it's actually really underrated, as is just the entirety of Chapter 4 in my opinion. But of course, it is not the best Season 4 in Fortnite history. That spot is going to go to Chapter 2, Season 4. Not only one of the best Season 4s in Fortnite history, not only one of the best seasons in Chapter 2, it is one of the best seasons of all time. For me, it is in my top 5. Just such an unbelievably good Fortnite season. Like, it is so fun. I don't know if I've ever had more fun in my entire gaming life than playing Chapter 2, Season 4 every single night for hours with my buddies in high school. And you gotta remember, right, this season was so revolutionary for multiple reasons, right? Firstly, it was the first, like, true full collab season where they fully lent into a collab and made all the POIs around that collab, the entire battle pass, the weapons, all that stuff. Now, you know, that's kind of becoming normal, right? With the new Simpsons season that's going to come out in a couple months. You had Star Wars Galactic Battle. You've also had Chapter 5 Season 4 Absolute Doom as well. But this was the first one to do it, and they really went for it. Great locations. What a great map. I think of Stark Industries as well as being one of the best locations in Fortnite history. Unbelievable update. All the mythics felt so fresh too, right? Like, let me just read them out to you, right? Dr. Doom's Arcane Gauntlets, Dr. Doom's Mystical Bomb, Groot's Bramble Shield, Silver Surfer's Board, Iron Man's Unibeam, Iron Man's Repulsor Gauntlets, Thor's Mjolnir Strike, Wolverine Claws, Storm's Whirlwind Blast, Black Panther's Kinetic Armor, She-Hulk's Fists, and Venom's Smash and Grab, right? Like, what other season has that many constant every single week getting a new collab mythic? It just doesn't exist. And yes, I will agree, the balance kind of got all out of whack here with all these mythics. But the majority of them were genuinely fun to use. What a great loot pool as well this season. I literally remember running around with a Stark Industries rifle, a Spaz shotgun. Just, dude, like, I have such great memories from this season. And again, there's just so much that I would love to go back and experience again for the first time. And I'm really, really sorry if you didn't get to experience it. But if you did, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And for me, it is the best Season 4 of all time. And honestly, by a long shot. Alright folks, I hope you went on to enjoy that video. If you did, please consider leaving this video a like and subscribing to the channel. We are pushing for 100,000 subscribers, and I'd love for you guys to join this community. Let me know in the comment section down below what you thought of this ranking and how would you rank every single Season 4 in Fortnite history. Trust me, it ain't easy to do. With that all being said, I'll catch you guys in the next one. As always, peace.